All right, welcome back to the podcast. This is the Ask Mama podcast. This is episode 7. We are on quite a roll here.
Yes.
This is a podcast where we answer questions given to us by you. I let you ask my mama questions. I think I deserve a round of applause for that, for even letting the internet talk to my mama.
That's
as crazy
right.
as y'all are out there.
They are nuts.
But we're here to just speak some positivity into your life. Hopefully you learn something
That's
from
right.
the podcast.
That's
Hopefully we can expose some truths in this conversation together. And if you would like to ask Mama a question, just DM us on our Instagram or TikTok page, which is both called Ask Mama Podcast. So let's go. We just gonna jump in. We're gonna jump into this. We're gonna start the show off today with a segment I like to call 5 Minutes of Trash, where we give 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, to some gossip, kind of conversations. What is the world talking about right now? What is the black internet talking about right now? And what the black internet is talking about right now,
My Lord.
is the Wendy Williams documentary.
Oh, Lord.
Where is Wendy Williams? That's what it's called.
That's right.
And we're gonna just kind of talk about it. The only person who's seen the whole thing is Mama.
Yes,
So,
I
Mama,
have.
why don't you give us an overview of what the documentary was about?
Well, it was about all the rumors and everything surrounding this poor woman. Where is Wendy Williams? Ironically, nobody knows. Nobody seems to know in her whole family. To this day, they don't know where she is. The courts have taken over and given guardianship to her. So they are the only ones that know where she is, which I think is cruel and kind of unusual.
Not really now, because it's the same thing that happened to Britney Spears.
Which I thought was
Well,
cool.
they gave it to the father, but we don't even know who is in
her
control.
guardian.
Right, it's some woman that the court appointed to her.
Okay.
And so they're showing, I think the family wanted this out to show everybody the shape that this woman is in. And that maybe popular opinion and what happened to Britney Spears, people came to start marching and let that poor baby go. So I think that's what they want with her.
I get that. However, the Britney Spears and Wendy Williams are drastically different.
Drastically.
Obviously, disregarding race and the politics of that, they're drastically different because people viewed Britney Spears completely as a victim because she completely was.
Yeah.
In Wendy's case, she has so many people who view her as a villain that it's hard for them to be empathetic. When I looked online on TikTok and Instagram or whatever, there were a lot of posts about whether or not they feel anything for her or whether she deserves an outpouring of love after all of the bad things that she has said and done, telling people's, personal business on TV, laughing at other people's demise. And these are things that occurred. I mean, I'm speaking facts right now. It's hard to say. It's hard to imagine that, we're talking about a person who built their career on trashing other people.
Oh, my God.
How do you feel about Wendy Williams? Do you feel empathetic towards her?
I do, because at the end of the day, she's still a human.
She's a human being.
Right? And I think that a lot of times, especially now, we've lost kind of our humanity and empathy towards one another.
Yeah.
I would say, in my opinion, I feel like she was doing a job and she made a career off of an image that was created. Now, I mean, it wasn't the best thing, but she wasn't the first to do it. Did we condemn them?
I think what I'm saying is it, people are talking about karma. So what I'm saying is it, you can feel bad about something somebody's going through, but at the same time, I still view it as karma. I still view it as reaping what you sow in a sense, because when you do bad things and you think nothing bad is ever going to happen to you, that's just not true.
Yeah.
And not to say that this is what should have happened to her. I don't think that. But this kind of thing happens when you do, when, of course, she created this image of herself. She created this platform and she based it on negativity. Nobody told her to do that, and there are plenty of people on television that didn't go that route.
Right.
So it wasn't like she had to do this, like there was no other way. She was funny, she has charisma, she's a very good interviewer. She had what you need in journalism to succeed. She didn't have to frame it like this. I believe she didn't have to do that. That's what I disagree with about her. Do I like how she's ended up and what she's going through? Absolutely not.
Well, she did say when she was on her show, I always did hot topics and now I've become one. So she admitted that, but the thing I didn't know about her that I found out in this documentary was her drinking. See, her drinking has triggered this aphasia, or
I don't know
whatever this frontal lobe issue she has, a disease. So it's kind of catapulted her into this early dementia and this other frontal lobe disease that she's acquired, which is her drinking. She's been drinking a lot to do this to herself. So that that's not recent. That means for years
she was an alcoholic.
She's been doing this and has been an alcoholic and no one knew.
Wow.
But I think, like, just to stay on topic, the whole thing is this. So now, okay, we're finding out she's an alcoholic. Why? Because she wasn't happy. Because when you build a life around negativity, you build your life around other people's worst day, worst time in their life. That's the entertainment you produce. You're surrounded by negativity. And so she could not have been. I have never met an alcoholic that said they became an alcoholic because they were happy.
No.
So that's another price that you pay when you surround your whole life like this. Because also a thing that I saw some clips of the show when she talked about her self-esteem or lack thereof, and not feeling pretty, and people talking about her and saying she's big, and all the things that they would say about her. So it's like, I think she became like a bully instead of being bullied.
I was going to ask you about what you thought her intentions were.
I think that's what happened. That she decided, I'm going to be the biggest bully in the yard. And then that way, you can't come for me, because if I come for you, I'm going to tear you down on my show. You know what I'm saying? And negativity is just more negativity. Yeah. And
so
it's sad.
Do we think that it matters what the intent is? Karma is karma, and you're going to get it back if you put negativity out in the world, even if you don't have malice intent.
I think karma is karma, good karma, bad karma. If you do good, you're going to reap that good. And if you do bad, I believe you're going to reap that too.
Yeah. But I think your intent, most people, if you think about most people who we would consider mean or even evil, if you look at their past, there is some kind of trauma and hurt. And there's intent behind that. Like they, hurt people,
Yes.
right? That's what they say. So in every criminals background, even just to go to that extreme. There's some, maybe they were abused as a child, or this happened to them, or that happened to them, and that's what led them to do this, that, and the third. They still did it.
Yeah.
They still got to reap what they sowed for what they did.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's what this woman is doing, but it must play some kind of role in your life, in the breakdown of your life, because this is so unbelievable.
Tragic. Yeah.
It is tragic.
Unbelievably tragic.
It is
what's
tragic.
happening to
Yes.
this woman. And what I don't agree with is the people that are online just like, whatever.
That's
I
what
don't
you
feel
get.
no, that's what she gets.
Yeah, that's ugly.
That's awful.
Well, they too are
That's
going to
awful.
reap that.
Yeah.
Because that is a
Well,
very bad intention.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I think, like you were saying before, society is really losing its humanity. Like every
Day by
year,
day. Yeah.
every year it goes down some.
Yes.
Some more.
Yes. Anytime you can watch someone being beaten to death, or
disregarded,
or assaulted,
Yeah.
and just videotape it and not do anything,
Right.
that pretty much tells you where we are.
Exactly.
Absolutely right.
Exactly. Well, that's all we're gonna give to this. I encourage you, if you haven't seen Wendy in a while, or you were wondering where Wendy Williams was,
Everybody's still wondering that.
This documentary will at least show
Lord.
you. This documentary will at least show you was going on with her, what's been going on the past few years or so. So you can check that out if you want, and just try to send some positivity this woman's way.
Send it.
She's not a murderer.
Right.
She didn't
Jesus.
do anything to children or anything
Right.
like that.
Pray for her.
She gossiped about people. Let's just keep it all straight. Like on the scales of right and wrong. Was she wrong for what she did? Yeah, kind of. It was some bad stuff she did, because I love Whitney Houston, and what she did to Whitney, I will never forgive or forget. But I do not wish this woman harm.
No.
And I think everybody needs to just take a pause and realize that it's not that serious.
Right.
If I had a show like that, I would talk about people like that, and then I'd call them. You know I was kidding, right? You know I was just joking. You know, girl, come on now. Let's have lunch.
All right, so we're going to get into the next segment, which will be, let's do a spotlight for Black-owned businesses. We like to do that every episode in order to encourage our community to just back each other up. And you're going to spend the money anyway, so why not spend it with your community? All of these entrepreneurs out here, these Black small businesses, we need to support them so that we can build up economic wealth that will become generational wealth. That is something that is very, very important to me, and I believe the rest of the cast. So just, take heed. Like, even if you don't live in Chicago and you're watching this, just Google Black-owned businesses in your city and try to venture out to them and encourage their success. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
More of. So my Black-owned business for this week is actually a fitness gym. It's called Get Fit First. It's in Humboldt Park, 3258 West North Avenue. It's a private fitness center, so they do personal training and they do small group fitness. But another thing that I like about this gym is that they also do self-defense training. So for all of you single women out here in Chicago, I think it's very beneficial to learn how to protect yourself. I definitely know how to protect myself, and I feel very strong out here on these streets.
Yes.
And they also teach you like how to be aware of your surroundings and how to take in, areas and understand where you should not go and how late you should be out without anybody else, all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And And it's men teaching the class, which I like too, because they know what could actually hurt
That's
them
right.
and how to get away from them, right? And you can practice on an actual guy that is, trying to attack you or whatever. So look into that. It's a really cool place. They do a great job. Mama, what's your black business?
My business is Teapot Brew Bakery, 1802 South Wabash. It's a bakery. Great banana bread. I really enjoyed it. Got me a cup of tea, some banana bread, and they're really nice in there too.
Okay.
Real hospitable and just sweet. I really enjoyed it.
All right. Good atmosphere, good food. All right.
Teapot Brew Bakery.
All right. Lamar, what's yours?
Mine is 40 Acres Fresh Mart on Chicago's west side at 5713 West Chicago Avenue. And it is, it's a produce shop.
Yeah.
Yes, and they have little subscriptions for as little as $10 a month. And you get shipments of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Really?
That is awesome.
40 acres, nice.
Yeah.
I like that little name.
Okay.
All right.
Reparations. No, we're not going there. We're not going to go there. All right. So that's our Black-owned business spotlight for this week. We encourage you to go out and see these businesses and let them know that the Ask Mama podcast sent you.
Amen.
All right. So now we're going to get into the questions. We're about to ask Mama, y'all. So let me start us off with the first question. All right. Why do you think most people are dating with what do you bring to the table mentality as opposed to I'm just looking for love mentality?
I think it's based on fear and not wanting to, scared to get in a relationship. I would be a person who would want the love. Of course, I don't believe in being unequally yoked with somebody. If I'm working, you're working too, sir. I wouldn't want somebody that's a deadbeat just sitting around. But I'm not going to make that my priority when I've met someone. I want you to be established, of course, but love would be what I'm looking for, more of what your character is bringing to the table instead of things, because what is that? That's temporal. I want something more than things. So
right. So why do you think people are doing that though? Is
because of fear, I believe. Okay. I believe they're afraid to commit, afraid to put their heart out. Just plain old fear. They don't want to trust and have a real relationship. That's what I think it is.
I think but I also think more so. It's like people out here are so superficial and so selfish, so into what other people think. It's like you need to fit with the brand I've built for myself.
Okay.
And, like a bag you wear or shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like we're accessories now. You're dating somebody and you're that person's accessory.
Right.
As opposed to y'all vibing and connecting as people because that's the only way you could fall in love to begin with.
That's right.
And that to me is what I feel like even when I'm dating. Like I feel like an accessory. And it's like, okay, so you want me here because you think I look good and you like that I'm a singer or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? I fit their narrative that they've built for themselves of the kind of person that they would be with, as opposed to trying to make a real connection to somebody.
Yes.
And that goes back to us basically living on our phones. And we're on social media, so it's all about the the motif we've built of what our lives look like, which isn't really, it's not real.
Right.
It's just like the best, what we put online is the best moments of our lives. It's not our life.
Yep.
It's just the best moments. Like if I go to a really nice hotel or a really nice restaurant, look at me, y'all. This is not my everyday. I don't go do all of this stuff every day. Right. You know, so I just really think it comes down to just the fakeness of our generation right now. What do you think?
So you were talking about image.
Yeah.
I believe that we've been programmed, right, to think one way and one way only. And that is, how does this look? How does this appear?
Right.
As long as it looks and appears a certain way, then that's all we care about. We don't care about the reality of it because we're not even really present. That's totally how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only reason I would think that people would want to, what can you do for me, or date because of what can you do for me, and that be the mindset. Love is not really sacred. Nothing's really sacred these days anymore. And we really have to take a really deep look as to why. And I think, like I said, we've been conditioned.
Yeah. I think it's conditioning too, fear. But, I think you guys' generation can change that because you don't want that. You're not the kind of person. She's not that kind of person. So it's got to be more than you two.
I think that the problem with saying that is that, yes, there are people out here like us.
Yes.
But the way we find each other is so hard now.
My.
Right.
It is.
It's not like other generations where they went to house parties and met up with somebody and was like, oh yeah, I met him at a party. My friend had a birthday and this, that, or
That's
a
right.
barbecue. Or I ain't met nobody like that. What?
Well,
how'd you meet that person? You mean you wasn't on your phone swiping left or right?
No.
So that's number one. Number
That's
two,
true.
we're also in a post-pandemic world.
Yes.
Where
That's
people
what
are
I'm
still
saying.
residually frightened.
So many things have changed. Like
Yes.
people do not like, and I can attest to it because I don't like being in big crowds anymore. Like the thought of just going to a venue or a club or whatever, and sitting around a whole bunch of people. That does not feel like fun to me anymore.
Right. For many reasons.
Yeah, and then also if your job, like my job is I'm in clubs performing or I'm at a festival performing. So those aren't the places I don't want to go anywhere near that place when I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
And to think that you can just that the only alternative is once again on your phone where all of these psychos live.
Yes.
Like the lowest creatures on earth, I truly believe, are on these dating sites.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
And
sick.
for me, I've sworn them off for the rest of my life. I've had, some very scary moments trying to do that. And then I have heard so many awful, terrifying stories of women attempting to date some of these psychos who are pretending to be a completely different person. Catfishing is not a form of entertainment. It's not just some show on MTV, okay? It's, women are not living anymore. They're unalived by some of these dudes that they met up with.
Yeah.
That's how
That's
serious
true.
this is.
Yeah.
They're no longer with us because they swiped this psycho. And so I just feel like we're just in this place where, yes, I believe there are other people out there like us, but finding them is so much harder
like a needle
now.
in a haystack.
It is hard.
Yeah.
I feel for you.
Because just like I don't want to go out, the dude that is probably for me is in the house too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's in the house.
Exactly.
We watching the
Exactly.
same show.
That's so
Exactly.
Hey,
sad.
boo.
And because we mostly think the same, there's not a lot of abstract things to do.
That's
Right.
So it's hard. It makes it even harder.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so sad.
Because I'm like, I ain't going out. I ain't going over there.
Exactly.
I don't know who gonna be over
Exactly.
there. And then how
Exactly.
many times you hear somebody go out to some little event and something terrible happens? Like, see there?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
it's like we're outnumbered.
Yes,
I know
we
you're
are.
outnumbered
We're
for sure.
definitely
You know?
the minority.
And that's
Definitely.
so
Just
sad.
And as
another
time
minority.
goes on, the numbers will go down
Yeah.
and lower
That
and lower.
is so sad
That's
because
right.
there's nothing better than love.
And
I
so
don't
I
care
believe
what they
also that means that a lot of us have given up. And
Right.
I think that's another
I
reason
think
this is going on too.
absolutely. I think
It's
that's
like
right.
A lot of people, maybe they're not this cold or they weren't this cold, but now they are. They're like, skip it.
Yeah.
What you bring to the table?
Right.
Can you pay my bills? Like these girls out here that want just a dude that'll pay their bills.
Exactly.
And, all right, we'll kick it. If you can pay my bills, you can help me do this, that, and the third, and pay my condo.
Oh my goodness.
You can move in.
Exactly.
And then the dudes that are like, what you bring to the table? You cook? What's going on? Can you help take care of my kids when they come over from their baby mama house?
This
Yeah,
is
I can do that.
real.
This is
real.
These are the conversations.
Sick.
And those are people who have given up. They do not believe they're going to find the love of their life.
Yeah.
So they're just
Yeah.
Settling.
resumes
Just
is
for whatever.
going out.
And
Interviews for
Yeah.
jobs.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah. And
Well,
Indeed.
This is
for
the
for
Indeed
people.
for love.
For-
Yeah.
For relationships.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so messed
Oh
up.
yeah. I also believe that generations before us warned, especially women, have your own. Make
Yeah.
sure that you have your own.
Yeah.
And I think in a way that's kind of backfired. Because I think so many of our generation and people that are younger than us have seen people that are older in such horrible situations
Yeah.
that they're traumatized and they're like, oh, that'll never be me.
Well,
They're
my mom-
traumatized because they watch their parents or the people in their life stay in horrible relationships.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they're traumatized, because I think watching somebody suffer is why a lot of people don't want to be involved.
Right. And I think is why we have a lot of this dysfunction in our communities as well, because I think it happened way more than what we like to admit.
Well,
Right.
my mom, she did teach us, the girls have your own, but she also taught us to, I also saw her take care of my daddy and cook and put his food on the table. So I don't have a problem with that, plus having my own. So
Right.
it's a balance. As a female, it's a balance. I'm not trying to be a man. I don't want to be no man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be a female, but I believe we're partners.
Right.
I believe in partnership, not, you usurp an authority over me and whatever you say jump, I'm jumping and bowing. And I mean, no, I don't want to do that.
But you had an example of a healthy relationship.
I did.
And a lot of people, that's your blueprint.
That is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not what's going on. There's
Right.
I know
an
it's
entire generation that saw nothing but just
Dysfunction.
trash.
I know
Just
it
trash
is.
personified. And now they're supposed to know what a healthy relationship
Right.
looks like.
There we go.
And they do not.
They-
So now they're just constructing it out of, because I know for me, I think about movies. I think about books I've read. I'm like, well, love don't really feel like, does love am I wrong? Is this wrong?
Right.
What is it supposed to feel like?
Right.
I'm not sure.
Right.
Because that stuff seems like a fantasy. But these people say they in love and they kind of look like them people. It's just you're guessing.
Yeah.
We out here guessing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw it. I didn't have to guess. My parents loved one another, and they weren't together because they had 6 kids. They were together and had 6 kids, but they loved each other, baby.
Yeah.
So I got to see that, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Didn't get it, but
That's all right. It ain't too late.
well, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Okay, we're going to move on. Lamar, what's your question?
All right. So my question is, I've had a friend with benefits for some time, but now I'm starting to catch feelings. What should I do?
I think you should tell this person that how you feel. And if they are still wanting to just be friends with benefits, then you got a decision to make. I wouldn't continue because now I'm going to set myself up to be hurt. And I'm not just going to do that. For what? But I definitely would let them know.
I would not let them know because when you're engaged in a friends with benefits scenario, there's no way. For me, I think there's no way you don't know what's going on with the other person. Like, you already know. Let's just say, as a girl, there's this dude, and we friends with benefits. I already know he ain't looking for a relationship. So why would I tell him, dude, I done caught feelings. You want to get together. You know that's not what he want. That's why he started this up. Usually, if it's that kind of situation, I would just say, yo, we can't do the friends with benefits no more. And then if he said, you don't have to tell him why. I just don't think you should tell the person why. I would not tell the guy why. I would just say, this ain't working for me no more. We can't do this. If he then says, well, I still want to see you, but why? Because I got feelings for you. Leave the door open for him to say he got feelings.
Yeah.
But I would not tell him, yeah, I got feelings for you. I want to see if we can make this. Because you already know. Let him go ahead. And if he's got feelings for you, he'll come back and express that to you. But I just, because at the end of the day, it's over anyway. You got into this. I just don't think any woman really gets into this thinking there's no way she's going to catch feelings. I just don't. I think that's a lie we tell ourselves. Like, oh, I just want to mess around. I just don't really think we can really mess around like that. That's just not how I feel.
Okay.
That's just not how I feel.
And I was going to ask, what if the shoe was on the other foot, and what if it was the woman
Right.
who was like, listen, I just want to have a friends with benefits situation. We really don't have a context as to what had happened before.
I mean,
then,
it could be flipped,
but
I just feel, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think in any of these scenarios, the other person is unaware of who they're doing this with. Like, when you're friends with benefits, that means that was your friend. So you know them. Like, the type of person that would do a friends with benefits is somebody that is very loose with their life, with their body, with their sexual partners. So I'm saying, because I would never do a friends with benefits. That just would never happen with me. But if I did, then I know whoever I'm doing it with is somebody who's like sleeping around and doing whatever they doing. They don't want no relationship. You get what I'm saying? I just don't think that anybody involved in this don't know the answer to the question that they just asked.
Could it be an instance?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, so could it be an instance where you and this person say, hey, you know what? Let's do this thing. Let's not be committed, but let's, when we do hang out and have a sexual encounter, it's just going to be us. And we're going to agree not to have outside forces.
Good.
Well, see, that's not friends with benefits.
So what would you call it?
Yeah, that's
So
friends.
it's not.
Right, I would think
it's
so.
not friends with benefits. I'm telling you, friends with benefits. Because I've talked to a few people who've done this.
Well,
friends with benefits is literally, that's your boy or that's your girl. But let's say y'all go out and you don't score, you don't get nobody, you don't get no number, but you both want to have sex. You meet up at the house later, you have sex, and that one leaves and the other one leaves. There is no hanging out. Ain't no, like, there's no sense of dating.
Or a relationship.
This is just like a booty call scenario.
Wow.
This is the person that drops back. I'm telling you from what they told me. This is just a person that's your friend. You know them. They date other people. They go out on actual dates. Not with you. They just come over to have sex and then they leave.
I knew a woman that did that for, like a man. And she did end up catching feelings for one of them. But she didn't even want to accept it. Like, I was like, this is sick. But, baby, that girl hopped from pillar to post and was like, men can do it, so can I. And she ain't think nothing of it. But
it's a mentality.
She did catch feelings for one of them. Yeah. She did. She ain't like to admit it, but
it
I'm like,
happens. But the point is, you don't have to tell the person you caught feelings because you know that they don't want a relationship. That's why they got into this.
Yeah.
Unless you feel like that person has caught feelings too, and they just ain't saying that. If you think that something has changed between the both of you, just you. If you feel that, then say something. But you know you don't. Most of the time, I ain't never seen two people, except in the movies, you know. They fall in love. We were just friends with benefits, and then we found out we was in love.
Yeah.
That don't happen in real life.
If it's hard for women not to catch feelings.
That's what I'm saying.
My friend was a special type person. I had never met anyone like her, and never after. Yeah. Because I was fascinated that she could behave this way. I said, what made... She said, I got tired of being hurt, so I just
That's exactly what I was going to say, because the girls that do this that I know, they gave up.
Yeah.
And so this is a form of that. But that means that you're just trying to... You can switch off your emotions all you want. You can try. But it's going to seep through because we're still human beings. I don't care what nobody said. You're going to find somebody, and it's going to be the wrong one to try to be friends with benefits with. Because it was always supposed to be more.
Well, she was the best I'd ever seen at it. But
because it was always supposed to be more.
It was always supposed to be more.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to people when they be playing around like this, like they're vampires.
Yeah.
I can shut my emotions off.
Yeah.
That vampires aren't real people.
Fooling yourself.
Vampires aren't real. So that means that you're a human being, and if you keep going out here connecting with people, connecting with people, then at some point you're going to connect with somebody that was always supposed to be there. It's just going to happen because it happens to everybody. You're going to meet somebody that you have a real connection with.
You ain't cut out for it. I'm going to tell you, I done caught feelings, and this is probably going to be over. I'm not doing this no more. But I don't have a problem telling you, because I don't care that you know.
Yeah.
We can still be friends. But I'm not doing this part anymore. Because
So what would you call the friends with benefits that's not really a friend with benefits? A person who has agreed to only be sexually active with you and you them, but without the commitment.
A boo.
Oh.
That's my boo.
That's my boo. My boo.
Right. I mean, what else could it be?
I mean, you can call it whatever you want. You can still say it's friends with benefits, but it's really just
a companion.
Yeah, you're pushing the limits of what it is.
Till you find
a friend with benefits is just sex.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. If you're doing anything else, if you're sitting up talking and hanging out and going out on little, dates and different things like that, or if you're committed to one another, which means what you're saying is you're not having sex with other people, that's a committed relationship.
It sure is.
And you can call it anything other than that, but that's what it is if you're not doing that. And that's not friends with benefits.
No, that's your boo.
So people are, calling stuff's one thing, and that's how you catch feelings, and that's how you get hurt, because you're not being clear on what you want.
Or honest, even with yourself.
Let's move on to the next question.
Wow.
The next question is, what do you think this... Oh, no, you go.
Oh, no, I just went.
Oh, you just went? Okay, I'm gonna do. I didn't want to take your turn.
Oh, no.
Okay. So the next question is, this man said a woman shouldn't buy their own house if single because it might attract narcissistic bums, and no real man will want to live in a house you bought. What do you think?
I think if I bought a house, I bought a house. And if you're calling yourself a real man and you don't want to be with me because I got a house, I'm going to just move on from you, sir. Because if a person has the money and they want to buy a house, which is simply an investment, what is your problem that you don't want them to invest in property? I think that is really immature and egotistical and misogynistic to feel that way. So a real man, to me, wouldn't have a problem with me buying a house. I don't see you having a problem with that. And if you do, then this relationship is not going to work, because she may have bought that because she doesn't want to buy a lot of cars or clothes or whatever. She just wants to invest in property, which is something that's going to help her future. So I don't see a problem with that. I would move on and get me a companion that doesn't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with him having a house either. And if we want to get together and just not want to live in each other's house, and we get in a committed relationship and say, listen, I can still keep my house, but let's get us one together. I don't see anything wrong with that. So that's my take on it.
Lamar, what do you think?
So I was going to say that, one, with the narcissistic, I can see how that can be, how that can attract narcissistic people who may try to use you. I don't think that you should lead with, I have a house. I don't think that should be the first thing that you say. But I can kind of see that. On the other hand, him talking about a real man wouldn't want to move into a house that a woman has already purchased for herself. It's twofold for me. On one hand, I could see how he could feel that way, because a man is supposed to be a provider, and that's what we've always been told in society. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, well, what would be the problem with her having a home? Does that mean that she's independent? Does that register to you that she does not need you? And so what is that saying for you? Are you insecure? And then what is your situation? Going back to saying that they should be equally yoked. So, I don't necessarily, there's some things that he said I do agree with, and there are other things that definitely give me pause. If I was a woman, I would probably look at that and say, you know what, this is probably not going to work out for me and you and I, because I don't think you're secure enough to handle the fact that I have achievements outside of you.
Right.
And you feel that I should be, I don't know, I guess below you in a way. Or if I'm single, I should maybe just be renting, or a condo at best. But, I don't know. It just seems very, like you said, misogynistic and very egotistical.
So, this man who said this, he said this, I believe on TikTok. It was a TikTok video. The problem is this. It speaks to a bigger issue with the mentality of too many men today, as if I have to wait to start my life when you get here. Because that's really what I heard when I'm listening to the man say this. I'm like, okay, so I'm supposed to just be waiting for you to show up.
Oh my God.
And then start my life, start, investing and building. It has to be with you. It can't be just me trying to build myself and build up. No. I should be waiting for Mr. Right to come and rescue me from my plain life in my little apartment, so he can hold it over my head and then call me a gold digger because I want a man that can provide. It's a trick. It just goes around and around. You're gaslighting me. That's what this is, because there's no way to win here, right? Because so if I don't have anything, I'm a gold digger.
Right.
If I have what I need to survive, I'm too masculine and you don't need me.
Okay.
Those are the two options for heterosexual women out here today.
Oh, that's sick.
And that is my problem. I am 100% against any man talking with this kind of vocabulary because I already know what that means.
Oh, that's sick.
You are not for me.
No.
You sure ain't.
You're not the one. Go away. Don't pass go. Don't take $200. Get off the board
Right now.
Okay.
right now.
You are
And
not.
I need a lot more women to have, to maintain your dignity and your integrity, because it is so difficult to build anything in this economy. If you can get yourself a house,
Bless her heart.
Oh.
I am proud of you.
Absolutely. Me too.
You are amazing. And any man who doesn't think that, any man who comes into your life and isn't like immediately like, you got your own house?
He's
That's
not worthy.
amazing, girl.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, look at you.
Yeah.
He's not worthy.
Because at the end of the day, I can put myself right in that situation and say, okay, if I have a house, which I plan on, I'm sorry, but in the next year or so, I'm getting a house.
Yes.
And I'm not married yet.
Yes.
So
Right on, sister.
if I get the house and then I meet Mr. Right, whatever, I would be fine selling that house and getting something else with him later.
Right,
But
right.
that's my investment.
Right.
I get to build off that money and put it back into my business or into another home with him or whatever. But the idea that I shouldn't
It's insane.
try to get the best things in life for myself if I can
Right.
is until you
That's right.
show up
Right.
is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because guess what? We're not owed tomorrow.
Right.
That's right.
So I'm sitting around waiting for you. I've
might
always
not
wanted
never
my
come.
own house, but I'm going to wait around until you come into the picture. And you are this insecure and small.
That's crazy.
You're not even worthy of me, sir.
He's not worthy.
And so think about this, right? Buying a house, huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
I
right?
think so.
If you have that attitude towards a dwelling, I have to live somewhere. Okay? So if I decide to buy a house, I bought a house. So, but if you have that mindset, sir, whoever you are, mister, about the house, think about it. I'm talking to the women about this. Think about all other accomplishments that you will ever have in life.
Exactly.
And how that person will respond. He will not be supportive. He will not be happy. He's going to be probably envious and jealous.
Oh, that's
and treat your
disgusting.
relationship as a competition as opposed to viewing you as a partner.
That's
he will
right.
never.
It's the tip of the iceberg.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
I
No doubt about it.
go away, sir.
Please.
Let that baby have that house. Oh,
I think just overall, the negativity between men and women today, beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. Like, I never thought that there would be so much vitriol, so much
division.
and so much like, even if you say that you're not interested in somebody, they'll just lose it, blow up at you.
Yeah.
You can't even tell nobody you're not interested. Like, you try to date and you'll see, like we said on a previous episode when we were talking about these bizarre dates
Yeah.
that, okay, you go out. So you telling me I have to know that I'm going to fall in love with you on this date before we go out? And if I don't, I wasted your time and your money, and I'm a terrible person, and you want to cuss me out and all of this
my
because we
goodness.
went on a date and I found I did not like you. Or maybe we didn't even get to the date. I'll share this. 2-3 days ago, I'm in a Walmart. This guy comes up to me. He seems very nice. He's tall and handsome. He's in my, okay. I looked at him. All right. And he came up respectfully. introduced himself and just said, I think you're beautiful, this, that, and third. I'd love to get to know you better, all that. All the stuff. And I was like, I don't know. But I gave him my number. I said, we'll see how it go. Needless to say, I'm not going to get into all the details.
Please.
But we text back and forth for a minute just to see. And even from the text, I realized, okay, we're not a match. It was some weird stuff he was asking me, and he wouldn't really answer the questions I had, which were real basic, basic questions. Wow. He would turn it back on me and ask me the questions instead of answering the questions. And that was like, okay, no. So I just told him, you know what? I don't really think we should move forward with this, but it was nice meeting you and everything. And when I tell you this man cussed me out for a full paragraph, like I just I'm the problem. I'm crazy. I bitter against men and this, that, and
that's
insane. All of this stuff. This man don't even know my last name. Thank God.
Thank God.
I immediately, had to block him and delete him and the whole thing. But the point is that
that's sick.
Just register how crazy and awful you've got to be to spew out that kind of vitriol to somebody you don't know. You just met this person, and you met them and said they were nice and beautiful, and you wanted to get to know them, and then literally less than 24 hours later, you cussing them out in some paragraph text like a psycho.
Wow.
And you don't know who they know.
Right.
Exactly.
Some of her family could have been like, give me that number.
Right.
And tracked you down.
But it's just like to talk to somebody like that just because they're not interested.
Right.
And they weren't disrespectful to you. They just voiced how they felt. So look how dangerous that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just don't think men give women enough credit for the danger we put ourselves in just meeting up with you, sir.
They can never, because they don't understand.
You can be empathetic. They should be able to be empathetic. Like, because I've spoken to men that realize, man, it's real hard. I've heard them say, it's hard for y'all, man. I couldn't be y'all.
Yeah.
That's
I bet
empathy.
You could.
Yeah.
But
and that's all I'm saying is that our generation needs to see each other for the situations we're in. I'm putting my life on the line out here.
I tell
just
you
to get to know somebody.
Yes.
It brought new meaning to you dodged a bullet.
Yeah, because people out here killing people.
Yeah.
But you really did dodge a bullet.
Yeah.
These fools are crazy.
They are. And I think another thing, too, which really feeds this inability to take no for an answer,
right,
is all of this instantaneous gratification that we have all day long, every day around us. If I want to listen to a specific song, all I got to do is type it in my phone. If I want to see a specific show, all I got to do is go on my various streaming services and watch it. There's nothing, I don't have to, so therefore, we don't learn how to have patience.
That's right.
We don't learn that sometimes you don't get what you want.
Right.
Remember back in the day, you used to listen to the radio in the car, and that was the only means
and
that
whatever
you could
played
to hear. And whatever played, you would hope, hope they play my favorite song.
They play my song.
And they might not.
And the scary thing is, this is borderline, young and old. Older guys are crazy. I told you all before about that. In the 60s, 60-something-year-old stabbed that lady to death.
Yes.
I mean, she didn't kill her, thank God, but stabbed because she didn't want to.
I'm gonna tell you,
be with him.
I think the root of all this. Don't laugh. Just take it in for a second.
Okay.
The root of all this madness out here, because you said something. You was talking about how easy it is for us to get things and this, that. It's Amazon. Amazon Prime did this shit.
Oh my God!
It did this to us because think about it. You can get this. You can get anything overnight.
Not Amazon.
If I want to go here, if I want some Greek yogurt and a pen pad and a stapler overnight,
then why should I be able to get a woman or a man if I want one?
And Why shouldn't I be
Amazon.
able to get a black man that's 6'4" with caramel skin and blah 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 blah?
And all I gotta do is tell you beautiful, and I want to go, and I think you're nice, and I want
I
to get
should
to
be
know you
able
better.
to click, and
Click
that's
it.
why
Lord.
everybody is like, there's no. Everybody like, I want what I want.
Right.
He'll
You
be
can't
here.
have it. What you mean I can't have it? I'm
He'll
an
be
Amazon
here.
Prime member.
Exactly.
That's right. He'll be here in 2 or 3 days tops.
Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if that
Amazon.
would be though?
Mama,
That's right.
Listen, this is where we
Ooh,
at.
Amazon.
It messed people up.
Yes.
That's
Psychologically, as a society, we're gone.
I'm still messed up. Like I have to like literally tell myself, you don't order nothing.
Seriously.
You stop pressing that button.
Seriously. Because everything you ever could
Everything
dream
you
of
want is right there.
at your
Now
fingertips.
you're right about that Amazon.
Press of a button.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
You
It
want
has
something?
changed
They got it.
society.
Yes. It
People
has.
want what they want,
And they want it
will
now.
not compromise.
No.
And so
And
therefore,
people don't compromise. They don't compromise. And what do you need in every relationship?
Compromise.
My God.
So there you go.
I tell you, boy,
I hit it, y'all.
Wow.
Amazon.
Amazon.
I said it first. Amazon Prime took down society.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Yes.
that's why relationships are failing us now.
Oh,
Yep.
my God.
There it is.
Prime time, huh?
Oh my God. So that's
This
it
is
for this
sick.
week, y'all. I think I hit the
it.
head on the nail or the nail, whatever it is. The nail on the
The
whatever.
head. I
hit
hit the nail on the head.
it. Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
So let's get into our recommendations. We hope y'all enjoyed our questions. We tried to answer them to the best of our ability.
Yes.
And we're going to get into these recommendations. Let's start out with your recommendation for TV or movie. Let's mix it up. Mama, start us off.
Okay. Mine is from Hulu. The Space Race.
The
Ken
Space-
Burns documentary. When I tell y'all,
What's it called again?
It's called The Space Race.
Okay.
And I mean, I was engulfed in this documentary about this little black man that was destined to go. But I'm not going to tell you what happened. But y'all need to look at Space Race.
Okay.
Hulu.
Who?
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can't say Hulu like it's 2 words.
Hulu.
It's just Hulu. It's just Hulu. Go ahead, Lamar.
Woo-wee.
What's yours?
Oh my goodness. So mine is a Netflix documentary. It is called Lover, Stalker, Killer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it's really good.
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary.
That means
What's
it's
it on?
true.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Check it out, guys.
Baby, bye.
It's a ride. It is a ride.
Oh, my God.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna, you know how I do with the action. This is a Netflix show. It's called The Recruit, and it's about this young lawyer who is becoming a lawyer for the CIA, and a lot of crazy stuff goes on. I mean, it's every episode just had me like, what the? It was awesome. I loved it. I hope they give us a second season of it. It's jam-packed action. It's also hilarious. And it's very, like, young. I like that I can connect with the characters. You know, he's got, like, these roommates. He lives with his roommates from college. And now they're all, like, adulting. And they're trying to get their lives straight together. And at the same time, he's got, like, this big, important job. And it's, like, his first real job. So it's just a really cool show. I highly recommend The Recruit on Netflix.
Right.
All right, so now let's do books. Mama, what's your book?
My book is called More Dirty Little Secrets by the one and only Dr. Claude Anderson.
All right.
And it's about our history, things we didn't know. It is fascinating because we've invented so many things that we had no clue about. And Dr. Claude Anderson, you know, he had another book that was, I think, just entitled Dirty Little Secret. But now this is more. So, I mean, it's just a great book and a wealth of knowledge.
All right, Lamar.
All right. My book is Dionne Warwick's My Point of View.
Oh.
And it is an autobiographical, I always have trouble saying that word, book. And there's pictures, there's different stories about different songs that she recorded. And it's just an awesome read to get a little bit more knowledge about our Miss Dionne Warwick.
The one and only.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm a history nut. So I read a lot of books about the past. And one of these books is called My Bondage and My Freedom, and it's by Frederick Douglass.
My God.
And this man who lived so long ago, when he speaks about the plight of black people, it's so scary how right now it feels.
Something?
1800s, and it's 2024 right now. And so it's just it kind of sends chills up your spine when you listen to Frederick Douglass, when you read Frederick Douglass, because it's like,
wow,
what are we doing here?
Right.
How is this hitting me this hard right now?
2024.
These thoughts and this situation and his awareness of our plight. It's like he could see the future or something. You know what I mean? And so it's just a very important book. Everything Frederick Douglass is important. Is an important read.
It certainly is.
He was a genius. Like, he was a literal genius.
He really was.
They talk about Einstein. Skip that. He was barely a genius. On the scale. This man, Frederick Douglass, was a bona fide genius.
He really was.
And it's just, it should be required reading. Of course it's not, because of what the situation we're in. But that's why we have libraries. Go to your public library. You don't even have to buy the book. Go read Frederick Douglass.
Yes.
My Bondage, My Freedom. So let's do music for the last one. Mama, what you got for music?
Music I've got, of course, it's old school.
Of course.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, my God.
I sound like a DJ, didn't I?
No, I'm like, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh, my God.
Reasons is the song.
Yes.
Oh, I love
that song.
Yes.
My God.
Yes. Isn't that
I
a good
love
one?
that song. Yes.
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
All right, Lamar, what you got?
All righty. So my artist is Thundercat, and the name of the song is Them Changes.
All right.
And he's a pretty underground artist.
So you know them changes. That's some Jimi Hendrix and that's a remake, baby.
Oh, is
All
it?
right now.
That's
All
some
right.
Jimi Hendrix and the Gypsies when
All
he was
right.
when he had his all black band.
Really?
The
Yes, he
drummer
did.
of that band actually wrote that song. It was his man, I can't never remember his name, but that was his song, and he brought it to Jimmy, and he was like, "Let's do this song."
Oh,
and
I know what drummer you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't never think of his name when I
Wasn't
want.
the Thundercats a cartoon?
Yeah, it was. But this
original.
dude is a bass player. He's really amazing. But go ahead,
He
y'all
really
love
is.
that song.
I do too. I didn't know it was a remake, so you just schooled
Oh
me.
yeah,
that
go
something?
listen to the man, because the drummer is actually playing drums and singing it.
Wow.
My mind and going through them changes.
Hey.
And he wrote it. Like, it's his song. And
See?
and
Wow.
Jimi Hendrix is playing guitar on it.
So cool.
Yes, and the Gypsies.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Band of Gypsies.
Wow.
Thank you so much for that history
Yeah, you're going to
lesson.
really like the original, too, because
Yeah.
it's just as fun. Because, Thundercat, he loved that. He loved them. So he probably did it justice. I'm going to check his out, too.
It's really cool and smooth.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome. All right, well, mine is, I got to take it back. This is Full Moon, Brandy.
Baby.
I just, this album, the Full Moon album is the best Brandy album.
The best.
Wow.
And it caught me off guard the other day. I was minding my own business, and then all of a sudden, I heard it. I was like, wait a minute. The way.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It took me back. I was back on the bus.
Listen, you was back on the bus.
I was like,
Back on the bus doing the heel toe.
Oh my God.
Get to know me too.
Nothing like music, baby.
I ain't even gonna front. I ain't even gonna lie.
Dancing in the club. We gotta stop. Cause
Yo, I forgot we were. Wait a minute.
it's a jam.
It's a jam.
But it caught me off guard. And once it catches you off guard, you gotta listen to the whole album.
You
It's
have
just,
to.
Lord
it's just
have
an incredible piece of work.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Music.
Yeah.
Yes, check that out.
Check that out.
Thank
but
God.
that's it, y'all. Those are our recommendations. We really hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure you give us a like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah.
And make sure you follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Ask Mama Podcast. That's where you can ask us questions for our next episode. And you can just show us love by following us and supporting what we're trying to build here. You can also listen to this podcast only on Spotify. So make sure you check that out. It's Ask Mama Podcast as well. We will see you guys next week. We have new episodes every Wednesday.
All right.
If this is your first time watching us, make sure you go back and look at the other episodes. And we will see you next Wednesday for another episode.
See y'all.
So be good, y'all.
Be safe. Bye-bye.